15 times, and infrastructure sector is inversely correlational to how the interest rates into the economy go, and that is the reason why some of the stocks like Lanco Infra, that stock is trading again at just about 9 rupees. The January high of Lanco Infra was about 66 rupees 4th Jan. So from that point, almost over 85% of the market cap has been eroded. Look at GMR, GVK, all these, even IRB for that matter, over the last 6 months have seen severe erosion as far as their market cap is concerned on the company specific issues, but the sector issue being the key, that high interest rates are actually causing them erosion in profitability because of high interest costs. So let's take this discussion on with Mr. G. Venkatesh Babu. He is the MD of Lanco Infratech, and we'll start. Mr. Babu, can you hear me? Thanks for joining us on Hot Stocks.
Yeah, I can.
So out of all the different segments Lanco Infra is present in as far as power, road sector is concerned, let's start with the power utility business, because that has been in particular pressure and has been grappling with multiple issues, key being fuel supplies. How are things looking, and as far as your projects are concerned, do you see some respite in the next coming quarters?
It's a pretty macro level situation. We've been representing to the government to sort out some issues, and they have taken initiatives, but it's going to take some time before the problems are going to be sorted out. What we see is in the intermediate level, they can set right the economics of the entire business. What I mean is primarily wherever Coal India, which is the government of India entity, has agreed to supply coal, if they're not supplying, what happens is there are projects which are committed to supply power at a certain end tariff. So the tariff competence is not there. So what we are representing is wherever Coal India's basis has been taken for bidding for tariffs, the government should enable the coal prices as a pass-through to the extent where the end consumer pays for the increase in coal price. By this, what happens? The entire sector will survive. The government of India will not amount to reneging on its agreement to supply coal to the power developers. And this will be a win-win situation across the sector. Now what's happening is the entire risk is coming on the power developers who have put up power plants after spending billions and billions of dollars for no fault of the power developer. He is stuck in between the coal supplier and the end power consumer, which is a distribution company. And this is happening because of sheer lack of regulation and lack of movement in this particular side. And the government is now taking initiatives. They agree, and they're looking at the overall picture and saying it's not the developer's fault for not able to supply power at the agreed price, because the Coal India as a government of India entity is not been in a position to supply coal. This is one of the important missing links in the whole power game, and this is affecting the developers adversely for no fault of the developers.
Projects, then commissioning of the 600 megawatt Udupi is delayed till June 2012. Which other projects are facing commission delays, and could you also highlight the main reason for such delays?
Yeah, the thing is, as an infrastructure sector, we are so dependent on the government in the initiatives, and anything in the chain gets stuck, the entire project is coming under cloud. In case of Udupi, it's a very typical project where it's a 1200 megawatts. The first unit of 600 megawatts is already operational and going smoothly. The second unit of 600 megawatts is, as far as the company is concerned, we have made it operational. But what has happened is the transmission line, the building of the transmission line, which is the primary responsibility of the government, is not ready. So the Karnataka government is not able to make the transmission line available, and in turn they are dependent on the Ministry of Environment for giving the clearance for laying the transmission line. And this has led to the transmission line not being ready, and the project is ready since April 2011, and the transmission line could be ready only by April 2012 or June 2012. So in the intervening period, it's a national waste in terms of monetary resources. If things are not getting sorted out, it is a huge drain on the resources of the state. Rather than, as a developer, we have agreements where the government compensates us once the project is ready, but unfortunately, the different arms of the government are not able to sort out issues like this.
Right. Mr. Babu, Lanco Infra is currently having operational capacities of around 4,000 megawatt, with some projects obviously underway. But in next few quarters, or if you take FY12 into account, how much of that do you see, coming in on stream? And for FY13, what is the company set a target for itself?
Currently we are almost about 4,300 megawatts in terms of operational capacity, and over the next 12 months it will reach just sort of 5,000 megawatts, and the capacity will increase further down the line. In the second stage, what we see is we are talking about down the line by FY15 we will be 9,500 megawatts operational. It's in two stages, the intermediate stage and final stage. Currently, if you see the projects commissioning, one of the large ones commissioning is Lanco Kondapalli, our third phase of 700 odd megawatts, and we have a small hydro projects commissioning.
Right. One of the factors which is highlighted by most analysts regarding your company is the high gross debt to equity at 4.5 times odd. What is the company's outlook on reducing it over the next few months? And for FY13 end, where do you see it roughly standing at?